Hello everyone, welcome to my review of the new Westside Gunn album, 12, which is a lot better than Drake's album, let's just say that. And let's just jump straight into it. I think this album is solid. It's just a solid project with solid rapping. The verses are all solid. The production is fairly solid. I think the production is mainly where the things lack. We'll get to that when I get to the tracks. But over the span of 40 minutes, there are a lot of unique vibes on this album. Like the first third of this album is more of a Stove God Cooks kind of vibe, with him accompanying every track pretty much over a more scary, menacing beat. Then you have the middle, which features Brother Tom Sauce with more fun, fast-paced beats. And then there's the last third where it kind of combines both of them with Este Knack. And I feel like there's just a lot of cohesion in this album, but there are a decent amount of flaws, especially in the last third of this album. As for the tracks themselves, you got Boswell, the intro, it's a great track. It has great verses left and right, and a menacing beat. Adam Page also kind of brings that same thing forward, but this time I think it's a little better because of the use of strings, which leads to an even more menacing beat, which is kind of crazy. Then you have Vert, which is a very heavy song with a heavy instrumental, solid rapping. Verses are great here, and I mean, as a whole in this album, the verses are just gonna continue just being solid, great, and awesome. But this track is kind of long. Then you have 055, pretty repetitive track. I'm not a big fan of the vocal type of beat here. It's kind of annoying and gets pretty annoying after it being repeated here. And a lot of the beats here on this album, actually all of them, are just repeated over and over again, which isn't my favorite. I don't like that much. But then this is where we enter the middle chunk with Health Science, which is a nice, faster, more light beat, and it's really nice. The 7th track, which is Gumbo Ya, I don't know how to say it, but it's a really fun track with 2 great verses. It's definitely one of my favorites off of the album here, definitely a banger. And then I feel like only those 2 tracks make up the middle portion, because now we're entering the last third of this album, East Miami, and I'm also gonna include Bury Me With The Stove, both being kind of mid tracks because their instrumental is very lacking, to me at least. The beats themselves weren't even that good to begin with, so them being repeated over and over again just kind of cements it being not my favorite. Then you have the leading single, Outlander. I think this is just kind of a solid track. It's decent, but I just kind of find the beat tiring. And then you have the outro track, which is great. The gospel type vibe here is pretty sick, and also the outro is kind of interesting here. And as a whole, this album is just solid. It brings to the table some very nice tracks and some very cool, or brings to the table an overall very cool listen. And in the last third of this album is where mainly this album kind of falls apart to me. I just think there's a lot of flaws here, mainly in the production era. Not my favorite about this album is just that repetitiveness. Okay, I had to lift up my blind because I don't know why it was getting so dark. For no reason. It's getting so dark here. But as for the awards, the worst song is Bury Me With The Stove. The most underrated song here is Health Science. I mean, it is in the middle of the album, but still. Hey, can we stop? Can we stop this buffoonery? It's a solid track though. And the most overrated is Outlander. I know it's the leading single, but this song just feels kind of basic to me and doesn't deserve as many streams. Okay, I don't know. Leading singles usually end up being the most overrated. The best song, it's Gumbo Ya, Yay, I don't know. But this track is sick. Very fun, instrumental, very great verses. Everything about the song is just very solid and done amazingly. And I think it will go down in one of the best songs for 2025. And as for my score, I'm going to give this album a decent 6, which I know you might be saying that's kind of low, but I already said it. I'm just not a fan of the production of this album, and I'm a big fan of production, but when the production is pretty much just repeated over and over again, it's not my cup of tea. But yeah, that pretty much is it. I'll see you guys in the next video. So yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.